slow. They think that we don't know, so we gon' show them that this kingdom about to rise up. They wanna keep us low. They think that we don't know, so we gon' show them that this kingdom about to rise up. Rise, 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 rise. Blessing of Jesus Christ, fighting until we see His kingdom. They wanna keep us low. They think that we don't know, so we gon' show them that this kingdom about to rise up. They wanna keep us low. They think that we don't know, so we gon' show them that this kingdom about to rise up. Rise, 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 rise,
Welcome back, We Rise Podcast. Let's go. Keep it moving, baby. We be moving. we got we got special guest Jared Tillinghast in the house. Oh, that guy's here every week. I forgot. Hey,
Let's see.
today we got
He locked in already.
Win.
Oh, you logged in mine already?
No.
That's mine. I'm moving.
Yeah, we're good. Today we got Mr. You ever watch those shows back in the day? The Bates Hotel.
Are you out?
Mr. Marcus Bates. Let's go.
I asked him that last night. He said, yeah, he gets it a few times. Bates Hotel. How you doing,
Marcus?
Nice to have you, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
The Hope.
Yeah.
The Hope.
You're following your career, you're doing your thing.
Yeah, man. I'm not doing too bad.
Yeah, you're doing
Not doing too bad.
Yeah, save it. We'll get into all that. Save it.
Yeah.
So what's going on, Marcus? Tell us about yourself. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Taunton, Massachusetts. Pretty much predominantly my whole life. I spent a year in Brockton, my freshman year, and then we went back to Taunton. So pretty much Taunton, and now I'm out here.
You born in Taunton?
Yes, born and raised.
So you went to a couple different high schools?
I went to my first high school was Brockton High School my freshman year, and then I finished my sophomore, junior, senior year in Taunton High.
All right. So what was the difference in the two? Was it similar neighborhoods?
No,
Group of people? Or?
nah. Brockton High was big. Was big, and it was more black people.
Oh yeah, in Brockton?
Yeah, more me. Taunton wasn't so much. I mean, in middle school, I was in my class. I was probably like maybe 10 black
10.
people. Yeah,
Yeah.
What was it, mostly
Yeah.
Portuguese? It was taught mostly Portuguese?
yeah,
Yeah,
Portuguese.
Portuguese.
Caucasian.
How was it though? Did you feel the effects growing up, being like one of the 10 black kids in Taunton or in the school that you felt like? Did you feel like it was like?
I had my fair share of running with people calling me nigga,
Oh yeah?
you know. But other than that, I mean, a lot of my friends are predominantly white.
How do you handle that at that age? At that moment, you're in an all-white school. You got these, some racial stuff going on.
Well,
But the truth now, you're.
oh yeah, no, I'm gonna tell you.
How did you handle
How
that?
did you handle that?
I just did me. I just did what my mom and my father told me to do. If someone puts their hands on you, you put your hands right back. And I just be respectful and just did me. I just did me, and no one really messed with me. Except, like I said, I had a couple run-ins with a couple white boys wanna call me nigga, but other than that, after we got into that fight and I busted them in their mouth,
Right?
They kind of leave you alone.
we was kind of friends.
It was
So
opposite.
you become friends. That's good.
It was
It's a good thing.
See, it was opposite for me. I grew up in not white. My mother's Puerto Rican and Cuban. My dad's Irish.
Yep.
So I grew up in.
So he just looks white.
Yeah, I
Kind
grew
of like me.
yeah. So I grew up in Silver Lake, and I went to Perry.
Yeah.
So, Perry's right in the projects, basically right at Hoffman. So Hoffman Projects right across the street. So I was, the only white kid coming from Silver Lake. There was only like 5 of us that were in there. And I fought everybody in the school markets. I fought them all in the back of the park. I beat everybody up. I was a beast like that too. I had to fight everybody.
Nobody got you.
Nobody got me.
Come on, there's got to be like one kid.
Nobody got
Everybody
me.
told the story about
Never.
This dude right here.
Never happened. Ever.
That's why he still got that pretty face. Look.
That don't happen.
How about you, Marcus? You lose any? Come on, shoot.
I wouldn't say lost, but I definitely got touched. I got touched up. I remember one incident. I was in 5th grade, and there was this kid all the time. He would call me nigga, we fight. I beat him up. Then he would get me. I beat him up. He'd get me. His name.
So we're going back and forth.
Yeah, I won't never. His name was Owen Tabor. So I'm in 5th grade.
Oh, it's tough.
We was on our
You
way
don't give
back.
up.
We was on our way back from gym, and me and him got into it in the locker room, whatever. So we on our way back, and I punked him. So we on our way back. We going to lunch. He got me nice. He was like, "Hey, Marcus." So I thought it was someone else calling me. I turned around, bang.
Oh,
My
damn.
nose started bleeding. I looked at that, and then we started banging out.
Yeah.
Started banging out. But he got that first shot in.
Yeah.
My nose is bleeding.
How about you, Hulk?
Truthfully, my brothers used to whoop me all the time, so I lost a lot of fights.
Yeah, well, my brother was a different story.
My brother, all
I was
right,
about-
so one time, all right, here's my one story. From
Yeah, but
catching
it's
the
got to
L.
be not brothers, though.
No.
Can't be brothers.
So my brother Jay had a problem with a kid that was older than me, like a few years older. He was like I don't know, 17, 18. I was like 13. And I was like, I'll fight him for you. And Jay was like older than him. So it was like, I'll fight him for you. I walked up to him. I was like, you want to fight? They were like, no. Because my brother Ryan's standing right there. So they were like, my brother and a friend of mine, Laz, they were like, nah, we won't jump in. Go ahead. So the kid's like, you sure you're not going to jump in? So I'm like, let's fight. Hit me first. Boom. Broke my nose. I never let no one hit me first after that, man. No way.
I've been doing that. Hulk been doing that all his career. Look at, I'm walking around with my hands swollen.
I know,
Pads
right?
for punching. Yeah, one time he's laughing. Come on. I'm holding the pads for him, and I
Hit me
broke my hand.
first. No way.
That's hysterical. Yeah, because you can't talk trash to somebody
Nah.
and be enraged.
No, but then
Like,
my brother Ryan chased him down and beat him up.
Oh, man. As you're cleaning up your
He
nose.
said, I'm going to do nothing.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Marcus, so let's give that to
So
you.
yeah, Marcus, you got a couple of big family and a lot of brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
And athletes, athletic family, very athletic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have 5 brothers, 3 sisters.
So
Where
you got
do you
beat up by
place?
them, man.
Nah, I'm the oldest.
Oh, you're the oldest.
Yeah.
You beat
Wow.
them up.
I'm the oldest, but it's complicated. We only 2 of us, me and my brother Darnell. Me and him are the only ones that have the same mother, same father. Everyone else, we either have the same mother or
Yeah.
same father. But
Are you all close?
yeah, we definitely close. Even though it was sometimes different households,
Yeah.
we're close.
That's good.
Like I got my brother Trevor who played for the Patriots in 2016, 2017. He's originally from Maine, Westbrook, Maine. His mom's from Maine. And him and Donnell, we actually lived in the same household for about a year or so. When he was very little, when he was probably like 3 or 4 years old. But now me and him, we stay very, very close. Actually, he was just up here this weekend for my bachelor party.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Congratulations.
He's taking the plunge. He's getting
Yeah,
married.
he's my best man.
Oh, amen.
So
Nice.
we're really close.
Good stuff.
We lost touch over the years of just my dad being here, his mom being here, me being here and stuff like that. But now we back and we've been rocking for quite some time.
Good stuff, man. He must be happy with seeing the direction your life is headed now.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah. It's a big change for me.
So let's start from there. So
Yeah.
so 15 years old, something happens, something big in your life
Yeah,
happens, big change.
yeah. I was
Now you in Brockton then, right?
I was in Brockton. It was my freshman year. And halfway through my freshman year, I remember because it was halfway through my basketball season, and that's when I found out my dad been snatched up, and he was getting ready to do a life bid. So that
That happened all at once. Did you see that coming? Or was
Nah,
just
we,
boom, you come home from school and
yeah, it was. I think I came home. I think I came home from basketball practice, and I remember my mom telling me, and it was crazy because my dad was just at my basketball game the week prior. So it all happened real fast. And I handled it by just staying in sports. I continued to play basketball. I was really good in football, but I stopped playing football because my dad wasn't there. And then in order for me to keep my family from not noticing how hurt I was, I played basketball just to keep everyone off
So
my back.
you was better at football than you was at basketball.
Yeah,
and this kind of took you away from football.
yeah, because my dad with football, he went to Bowling Green University for football on a scholarship. He didn't finish there, but he got the scholarship to go there. He went there for a little bit, didn't work out, and then he left.
so I want to excuse me, but I want to touch on that, Marcus. You mentioned you were a better football player than basketball player,
Yeah,
and you walked away from the game you probably loved more than basketball
yep,
because of the situation that happened with your dad. And almost like you just kind of it affected you to that extent where you actually said, "My dad's not going to be here. I'm not doing it if he can't watch me do it."
yeah,
You know,
Changes the
that's
trajectory.
where the change happens. That's where Marcus goes and says, you know, screw it. I'm doing it this way, or I'm doing it that way. And that's where those decisions and things like that are game changes. But when something big, that's a big thing that happened in your life. Your father all of a sudden is gone and is facing a life thing, wrongly convicted, but still facing all this time in front of him.
Correct.
And now you're by yourself.
yeah.
And then, obviously, we're going to get into where it goes from there.
Yeah, what's the progression after that?
So after I finished out the basketball year at Brockton High, we moved. Before we moved back to Taunton, that's when I actually started on my 16th birthday. That's why I started smoking weed,
Yeah,
and we ended up moving back to Taunton. My mom moved to Fall River with my brothers and sisters. I moved to Taunton with my grandma, and I just did my thing. I would play ball, hang with my friends, smoke some weed here and there. You know, stay out of trouble, but just do me. And then eventually I would continue to play
you
basketball.
think when you decided to smoke weed, did you slowly like go off in a different direction, or was it just maybe the people you're hanging out with at the time doing that or
I
whatever?
wouldn't say go off in a different direction.
From sports and school
Nah, I
and
stayed
stuff like that.
playing ball.
Yeah.
Stayed playing ball. My grades stayed up to par. Actually, I did just enough
To get by.
to pass.
Yeah.
You know, I was seasoned B's, but I did just
It was
enough.
easy for you. So you
Yeah.
just said, all right.
Yeah, I just seasoned B's and
Yeah.
just kept it.
Was that like out of respect for your mom?
Yeah, 'cause I didn't want to hear her mouth.
Yeah.
My mom, she's ill. She's a great woman.
She don't play though.
Nah, she don't play.
Yeah.
So I did just enough with school so that I could continue to play basketball,
Yeah.
but also kind of keep my mom off my back. Until I was probably like 17, 18, that's when really my mom started getting on me, because that's when she noticed that I was smoking weed.
Yeah.
I think at the time I was selling some weed too, just so I could get sneakers for school and stuff like that. Just little dumb shit. But I did enough what I could do just to keep her from noticing too much. Too much. But she's mom, so
She's on you.
yeah, she
knows how you move,
Yeah,
right?
she knew what was up. She knew what was up.
So after high school's coming to an end, your father gets sentenced, right? Your father ends up getting sentenced. High school's coming to an end. Where do we go from here?
I graduated. I ended up going to Massasoit Community College for a semester. After that, I just was like, school wasn't really. I went to school to play ball, and I didn't get to play ball because I started the semester late.
Yeah.
So it was like, to me, it was at that point, it was like pointless.
Play basketball.
Yeah, play basketball. Yeah. So to me, at that point, it was like pointless. So I started working, and I was working 2 jobs at once. I ended up getting my own apartment. I moved out of my mom's house at 19. Ended up getting my own apartment, and from there, that's when I started to kind of decline a little bit. I ended up losing the 2 jobs I had. After that, losing the 2 jobs and having an apartment and a car and all that stuff like that, that's when I.
So now you don't have so you think that you don't have your father around. You're more separated from your mother.
Yeah.
Who was really was the only one really that could keep her eye on you.
Yeah, I just at that age, at that time, I didn't. My mom was trying to tell me stuff, and I'm at the age where I felt I'm a grown ass man. Yeah, I'm grown.
Yeah.
She wasn't trying to let me have girls over the house, so I was like, man, listen.
Yeah.
I'm 19, man. I'm trying to do my thing, and you blocking me like that, like.
She's trying to keep you
Yeah,
safe.
She said, not under my roof. You can do what you want, but you can move and get your own place.
Yeah, nah. I ended up moving out, and I was pretty much on my own.
In the streets with the crew now.
Yeah, I was on after high school. I still kept with my crew, but my crew they're all good dudes. None of them did what I did.
Yeah.
All right, take a break.
Yeah, we'll take a break.
Let's
We'll come back.
catch up with them when we get back.
We'll get into Marcus's after high school and how things took a turn for the worse.
Yeah.
And we'll get
So,
you.
hold on.
We ride.
We got 12 people chiming in on here.
Emotional.
I'm trying to.
That's what I was trying to get that out of you. That's when I got lazy. You're like, nah, I was good. Welcome back. We rise. Marcus,
Yep.
JT, doing it. Finding out what's going on. So Marcus, you know, you got through, you know, high school and everything. Big changes in your life.
Yep.
You come out of high school, Mom Dukes ain't having the messing around in the house.
Nah.
So now it's time to move on and try to be an adult when he wasn't ready because he didn't want to finish college.
Are we ever ready though? He's got the manual now, how to be an adult.
So what? So what was it like next? Just trying to hustle, work, grind.
Well, I worked. I'd say I worked for the first year being out of my mom's house. I was working at Taunton State Hospital, and I was working at a car dealership cleaning cars for somebody that my uncle knew. I ended up leaving those two jobs and going to try to get my electrician apprenticeship. I did that for like 90 days, but I didn't make the cut because I got into it with one of the foremans.
Yeah.
Portuguese cat.
Young and stubborn.
But he was kind of racist, man. And
Yeah.
at that time, I was messing with a white girl, as I'm messing with a white girl now. What's up?
Well, you ain't messing with her.
Now I'm about to marry
Marrying her.
Yeah. So, but at the time, I was messing with this white girl, and the dude he'd be making jokes, and one day he made a joke, and I told him, I was like, yo, if you say some shit like that again, I'm gonna take this PVC pipe and I'm gonna put it where
the sun don't shine.
Pretty much. And he lost. And I'm calling my mentor for the program, and then when my review came up, I didn't make the review, so I didn't have a job. I got my own apartment, and now I'm like, damn, what do I do? So I just from there, that's when I started hustling.
Yeah.
And
felt like that was the way that was going to feed you and provide. And
yeah, I had
every other way you trying to get hit and blocked.
Yeah, I was trying to get jobs. It wasn't happening, and I didn't know what the problem was. So as I was unemployed, I just started hustling, and that just ended up taking its own road, its own course in that aspect.
Because you got to start making different decisions.
Yeah.
So you moved out. How old were you when you moved out of your mom's?
19.
So from 19 to
I'm about 20 years old.
21 years old, you was moving.
Yep.
And at what point did you end up getting jammed up?
My first jam up was, I'm gonna say, right after my 20th birthday. That was my first my first time.
Did you jammed up like prison time?
Nah, I got bagged. I think one of the houses I was living at. This might have been when I was 21. Mm-hmm. I think it might have been right before. It was right before my son was. I was 20. It was right before my son was about to be born.
Where you living?
It's Brian calling. Herb. Mama, tell Brian I can't talk right now.
Brian, he can't talk right now. He's on a podcast. He probably told you about it. I don't know why you're not watching anyway.
I tried to hit him up.
That's foul, man. I thought we was people.
He good. But yeah. So I was about 21, 2021, right around that age where the house I was living at got raided, and they found work in my room and a scale, and I ended up getting locked up. I think I was probably locked up for maybe a day, and then the next day I got bailed out.
That was your first charge?
Yeah,
And you were still like, I'm all in.
yeah.
I'm all in.
Yeah, so,
I'm making
right.
money.
So after the first charge,
all in.
like, all right, so you get arrested and
I'm all in. This is how I'm making money.
you know mom's disappointed. You know mom's ready to go at you.
Did mom know?
It's a-
Did
Yeah,
mom know?
yeah. Mom knew. She helped put bail money in there to give me bailed out. So she knew, and her and my son's mother, they was the ones that came and got me.
All right, so you come home from getting arrested.
Yep,
Where's your mindset?
back to it,
Right back to it?
right back to
Same
it.
place, same house, same everything?
I stayed at the house for a little bit longer than I was out of there.
All right. Same. So you stayed in Brockton.
No, I was in Taunton at the time. Now,
All right. So now you move.
yep,
Still hustling.
yep,
Still keeping stuff with you in the house and same
still.
Same routine.
Same
Yeah,
routine.
It didn't work last time, but it might
You
work
didn't
this
even- right,
time.
you didn't even like put it in a garage and stuff.
Nah, well,
In the
actually,
garage.
I
You didn't
just-
bury it in the yard.
I just made sure before I went home for the night that everything I had was gone.
Yeah.
So, and if I did have stuff on me, it was a little bit of stuff, and I just kept
It won't be that much of a bid, basically.
pretty much. I just
Yeah.
was like, fuck it.
So in your mind, you're thinking like, if I get caught, right, obviously, right, because we don't get in this thing saying, "Oh, we're rats. We're gonna tell on people to get out and this and that." So in your mind, you're like, I get caught with this. At least it's not a lot, and I'm not doing a big bid.
Yeah,
So you really like, what's the word? You say it's okay to actually live that. Like some people would like, they didn't grow up like us. They would really be like, wow, I ain't going to jail. That's great. I'll never go to jail. You know what I mean?
yeah.
In your mind,
But
you're like,
how
all
we're
right,
not
I
gonna
might
get
have
caught
to do this
again.
little bit of bid, but it's not going to be too long.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So how old were you after the first arrest, Marcus?
I was between the ages of 20 turning 21.
So at 21, somewhere in between getting arrested and hustling and living, you started boxing.
Yes, I started training. After it was right before I turned 21. It was after my grandmother passed away. Because at that time I was definitely going through it. My grandmother was someone, she basically raised me with my mom. So she was my mom. So I lost her and my great grandmother like a month apart. So I lost my great grandmother in December, and then I lost my grandmother in January. And I was still doing my thing. And after that, like my son's mother, her brother, Justin Paulo, God rest his soul. He's the one that got me into boxing. He was just like, yo, he's like, I know you doing this. He's like, yo, come try to do this. He's like, I know you can fight. Come try to get some training. So around like,
So it was like an outlet.
yeah.
Let the pain out.
Yeah, so I started doing that. So like the summer, I say like the summer of 2007. That's when I had my first fight.
Amateur fight?
Yeah,
Summer of 2007. Is that what you said? The
Yeah.
first fight?
Wow.
Summer 2007, I had my comeback fight after 10
That's
years
when
out
I
of
had
the
my
ring.
first pro fight.
What day?
Yeah.
What day
Yeah.
did you? Wow.
damn. I couldn't even tell you. I know where it was. It was in Lynn on a baseball field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys
Outdoors.
outdoors in the
Yes.
baseball field? That's crazy. I did
Yeah.
that one.
I think
Brockton.
my fight was May 18th. I was turning 37. May 24th. So,
Wow.
that was part of my comeback. Was I'm an old man. I'm gonna beat up a young kid. Watch.
You weren't even that old.
Hey,
37.
hey,
Come
man.
on, that's not that old.
Hey, and Jeffrey Osborne, I beat you up. He's my brother, though. I love him. If I ever fight again, we're gonna dig someone up out of St. Anne's and put your face on it. Yeah, so summer of 07.
Yeah,
That was a good year.
I don't know
Yeah.
if it was June or July. I know that I won that fight, and then I ended up fighting in the Rocky Marciano tournament, and I won the Rocky Marciano tournament, and then my son.
I think Andre was in that. You know Andre something? He's like my brother. His father was my coach for years. He was a UFC fighter. I swear he was in that same one. Was it in Woonsocket?
No, it's in Brock. It's
Oh.
they're Brockton that runs
Yeah,
that.
the Rocky
No, this one was. I thought it was in Woonsocket.
No, the
Yeah, the
Capiellos run that.
Yeah,
Oh,
Richard.
Richard and Mike.
Yeah, my guys.
Oh, okay.
Rich and Mike. We'll be
This
doing
must
some
have
work
been
with
named
those.
something
with
else.
Rich
I
and
thought it
Mike.
was that though.
What?
I thought it was Rocky Marciano.
They run the Rocky Marciano tournament. I think it's in the same place every year.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
and at like the Brockton Stadium or something like that.
Yeah, actually they do a different. They moved it around a
They
few
moved it
times. Yeah, but they run that tournament. They do a good job of it.
So what happened after that?
After that, my son was born, and then I stayed boxing. I ended up fighting in the Golden Gloves. I made it to the finals.
Southern New England.
Yeah, the Southern New England finals. I lost to a kid out of Capiello's gym. Then
Did you really lose, or was it just one of those politic things?
I think I might have lost. I don't really remember.
It was close.
Yeah, it was close.
And how many fights was this in?
This was probably first 3 fights after Rocky Marciano, 2 fights in the third. So I was probably at like 7 to 8 fights.
It's good though. So you got mostly all your experience comes in. Your first amateur bout is in the Marciano tournament. Oh no,
It was before.
Right before.
It was in Lynn.
but then the Marciano tournament,
Yeah.
which is good because you get that experience right away.
Yeah.
You got to feed you. It's good you go in right away with you're fighting for a
Shit,
championship
the
right
crowd,
away.
Yeah.
Something you never done before to do
Yeah.
it for the first time is a lot of times we want to wait, hold 'em back, and kind
Yeah.
of walk them into it, but sometimes throwing you and feeding you to the shocks and,
Yeah.
and
See what you're made
surviving.
of.
Yeah, sometimes
Yeah.
that's what makes all the difference.
Didn't
That's where
do
the
too
blessings
bad.
are.
I was just the only thing bad at that time was I was still in the street, so I wasn't giving it
Yo.
my full my full focus.
Hence, I want to say that there's some value in what you just said. You cannot be a professional prize fighter and want to do this particular sport and leave the gym and go and move sideways.
Yeah.
God don't work like
You
that.
got too
can't-
much. You got
can't
too
do it.
much.
He
to
don't
think
work
about,
like
too
that.
much to
If
worry
you
about.
move sideways, while you're trying to do something and make an accomplishment in your life, trying to build your amateur so you can be worth some value as you're turning pro, but he has a way of holding us back when
Yeah.
we're not living right.
You're not
Yeah.
ready, son.
That's right. And
Yeah.
and it comes in sometimes a smack that we don't forget,
Yeah.
but it comes. But that's why what you do outside the ring will complement you in here, and what you do in here will complement you out there.
Yeah.
It's a full job.
So did you end up with one of those smacks?
Not yet.
I did.
Not yet.
He did too. Not yet.
Not
Not
yet.
yet. Not yet. I went for a while without any smacks, and then I got a smack. It was following year. My son was either the following year or the year after. I think my son was turning about to turn 2, and I got hit, got caught up, and I ended up doing like 90 days. I took a plea just to.
That's how it works. So you start out, they give you probation,
It's
then
crazy.
they give you a little bid.
It's crazy
Then a little
because
bit.
This is the second time you've been called.
Yeah.
and it's crazy because I remember the lawyer saying to me, he was like, you're taking this plea. He's like, if you get caught again, this is what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, all right, cool. So I went through the probation. I went to going to fucking I would have to go to some type of meeting like every
Oh,
other
yeah.
every other
Yeah.
day, like these classes.
Of course you
I have to
do.
go to the classes, take drug tests every day. They gotta call the phone line. They call my color yellow. I gotta be there, coming all the way from work and stuff like that. So
Once you
I was-
get caught up in
But
the
it was
system,
still manageable.
yeah, it was, but I was
It wasn't
still
like, damn, I've been away from my family for a long time now.
yeah. No, I was gone for almost 90 days. I got out. I was on probation for a year, and in the meantime I was like the first few months being out from the 90 days. I was going to work. I was working doing construction. I wasn't hustling or nothing like that. But the construction gig, that shit was so flim
Yeah,
that I just started. I was
I
like,
need money. I need
Yeah.
to provide. I got a son.
And I was like, yo, you know what? And I went right back to doing the 1-2, and then eventually after that,
you ain't that good at this stuff, Marcus. They're gonna say
You know what happens? This is what happens.
you become
Once
a
they
box
got
man,
him,
right?
exactly.
You
Once he
become-
get you once,
Yeah,
twice,
they
it's
want
like
you.
they
They
look
know
for
what
you
you're
now.
doing. Of
They're like,
course.
wait a minute, he
Then
didn't
they
do really that much time.
But
Let's
they
see
have
what he's
more
up to.
people that are right under your nose working for them.
Yeah.
That are saying he's moving
Yeah,
this way.
he's doing this
moving that.
again. He's doing that.
Yeah,
You
you
think
know,
he's your friend?
this is Rhode Island. You
Yeah.
can't move like that.
Yeah.
Mass
Not
too.
people.
I was
You
in
know?
mass.
Same
But
thing.
it's
Mass too, yeah.
before I caught my 3 years. It was a while before I got caught up again. I just started moving way different than how I was moving before, and I just started really just. I was to myself before, but I was even more to myself. So I really didn't keep no one around me, and if my friends was there, then they would just come see me at the crib, and I would chill with them here and there. Or if I was doing music at the studio, then I would see my boys at
So
the
you
studio.
started rapping too. You started doing. Like,
Yeah,
taking
I was
interest in that.
yeah, I was rapping since I was like 16.
Yeah.
You know you gotta drop something now.
Yeah,
you
I
can't,
know.
I don't do
You
that
need
no
some
more.
old school.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
you
need
gotta
an
old school
you
track.
can't come out We Rise.
I don't
There's
do
a
that.
couple of things
When
you
the
gotta
show's
do.
coming to an end,
Yo,
whoa,
my rap
we gotta
skills-
need 16 bars.
Yeah, my rap skills is diminished. My rap skills is diminished.
Uncle back
Too many
at the end.
punches to the head.
My rap skills is diminished.
I'll beatbox for you. Let's
yeah,
go.
man. So it was nuts. And then I was like 24. That's when I got hit with 3 years. And the last time before that, I was like 21, 22. So I went a few years without getting caught up. And
So you was
then
24 and you got hit with 3 years.
Yeah.
And you had a 2-year-old, 3-year-old.
my son was 3.
So what was
So
that?
was he
What
coming-
was that first night like?
Did you want your son? Did you want your son to come to prison to see you?
I did.
Now, I mean that's a. I spent my whole juvenile life in a visiting room, different visiting rooms, so I understand that. I don't know. It's a tough one because you want to see your kids, man.
Yeah.
Nothing like seeing your kids.
Yeah, it's kind of like
It was tough, but I needed some type of normalcy.
Mm.
And I didn't see him for so long, and the last time I saw him before I got bagged up, me and his mother got into it and we broke up. So they was out of the house. She went back to her mom. So I didn't see him for a little bit, and when I got locked up, I knew that this time that
You
I
were
was
done?
she was done.
Yeah.
I knew that this time I was.
He was,
How long
gonna
in
turn it
though? How
around.
long in? How long did that take for you while you were in there? Because when I did a bid my last time after same thing, trouble, then I think I was in there maybe 4 or 5 months before I was like, oh, I'm not getting out for a while, and I really truly decided that I was done.
It was right away.
Yeah.
When
Before
I-
you caught your time, while
Yeah,
you were
while you're sitting in the
Yeah.
police car.
Well,
nah, man, I don't think it
No.
happens like that.
Yeah,
you
nah,
really gotta
it-
catch time.
It happened for me quickly because how
You
I
knew you was catching time.
how I got bagged and how it was all set up. Like they was gunning for me.
Yeah.
They was gunning. So I knew that as soon as they threw the cuffs on me, when they pulled me out of my boy's car, and they put me in the back of that cruiser, I was like, I'm hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hit. And what solidified me being hit was when I was at the police station, and I was after they raided my car, that stuff. I was there. I was sleeping in the cell, and one of these bitch ass detectives, I won't say no names, but he came to my door, and he was like, if you tell me this and tell me that, then we could
That's what they do.
we could probably get your thing dropped. But and that's how I knew, because he told me, he's like, this is what we found. There wasn't nothing in my house. They had it on me, but they found a large amount of money in the house plus a scale. So he was like, yo, this is what it was. And after he walked away, that's when I was like, fuck, because I knew in my heart that I was going away for a little bit of time. And not just that, like I did mad shit, and not just selling drugs, but other shit that I won't disclose, but other shit. So I knew, like,
The karma.
yeah, I knew that something. I was like, something's gonna get me right here. And
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how good a person you are. Doesn't matter how good of a heart you have. When you are living life regular out there, and you're making these choices and bringing that darkness into your world,
It's gonna get you.
it's going to get you. That it's just the way we live, and that's no blessings happen in that. We gonna take a break.
Yeah, we're gonna take a break. We're gonna come back.
well, ain't no break on my
We're gonna
life.
find out how Marcus rose up out of this, make some better decisions, and change his ways. Let's
see.
go.
Let's
We
see.
rise.
Let's see.
We back. We rise. JT.
We rise.
Marcus. Let's go. So where'd you do your time at?
I was in.
You hit the cell.
Yeah.
We're like, ugh.
I did the first I spent awaiting trial in Ash Street in Dartmouth, Bristol County.
How long you wait for trial there?
I was there for a year.
Oh, so you was on trial? Like you was pre-trial?
Yeah, pre-trial waiting. Yeah,
So you did a year before you even caught time.
yeah.
Woo, that hurts.
So
That was like an intake center.
Yeah.
Lockdown
yeah, I was.
majority of the day.
Yeah, Ash Street. I was it was 22 and a half hours and
Oof.
21. So I would
you're locked down for 21 hours out of the day.
yeah, and then every other day was 21 and 21 and a half, and every other day was 22 and a half.
Wow, man, that's like being in seg.
Yeah.
So they're really letting you out to just
So pretty much one day we would get out
shower and gym.
One day we would get out 2 recs, and then the next day 1 rec,
Wow.
and then 2 recs and then one rec. So
I can't imagine that, man.
yeah, man.
I can't imagine that. I did it for a little while. But
Yeah, this shit was
not for 1 year. For 1 year,
Yeah.
is that?
That shit was rough. And then I would probably say like the last. So that year's almost done. I'm from December to January. I think like January was right after New Year's. I got shipped back to Dartmouth, and right before going to trial to take my time, I spent fucking 10 days in a hole.
Yeah, but it's not even far from
yeah,
what
but
you was
that
doing already.
But that time there was no
breaks,
no time
nothing,
out.
no phone.
Yeah.
10 days. 10 days.
Bro,
It's like 10 years in a hole to me.
Well, it's a lot of time to think too, though.
10 days in a hole. What?
Might make you go
Long
crazy.
time.
Yeah.
You know, in the beginning of the Bible in Genesis, the reason it says God made woman is because He's seen that it was not good for man to be alone. It's literally something that's like written in the Bible that it's not good for us to be stuck in a box or a cell and just boom left.
What
by
if you're
yourself.
happy in a box?
You know what that
That's
could do to
all
you?
alone?
You know what that could do? It's not. It breaks anybody. It
Yeah.
breaks serial killers. It breaks molesters.
What if you're not in a
that will
box?
break
What if you're
anybody.
just
Or it just makes you more crazier.
Right.
It breaks you. It will
Or it
break
makes you more crazy.
They'll tell you to to bark like a dog, and you'll do that to get out of there. You know what
I'm
I'm saying?
talking about what if you're at home and you're living more
Oh,
and you're alone?
well, you
That's
know,
different.
you know, you can get out the house.
That's-
You know, you
that's-
can
yeah,
leave.
that's
right?
different.
Yeah.
Cause that shit.
Come on.
Cause shit, there's sometimes I'll be at home. I like being alone. Sometimes.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes you need a break.
What? Of course. I think it. Well, no comment. I'll stay out of that one.
So
Two guys that are married.
Yeah, yeah. So is that the time at that point, like that year, during that year, where you're like, when I get home, that's it.
I
miss my son.
at that time.
I miss being.
Yeah.
I miss being able to walk outside.
Yeah, at that time, I just wanted to go home. So the fastest way that I could get home, that's what it was. So
Take a deal.
when my lawyer came to me, he's like, it's not looking good, but they're offering this. And I was like, what are they offering? He was like, they're offering 3 years, but he's like, I was looking at no less than 5, no more than 15, and that was a big ass gap because what they did is they hit me with a sentence enhancement
Yeah.
because it was I think it was my third
Third
time
time.
my third time with the drugs. They hit me with the sentence enhancement, and they hit me. I had bullets and I had gun clips.
Oof.
So they charged me with the gun without even having a gun. So it gave me a sentence enhancement. So I was looking at no less than 5, no more than 15, and that was too big. That was too big for me to sit there and actually go to trial. I was like, because if I went to trial, they could hit me with anywhere between 5 and 15.
Yep.
And I was like, nah, I can't do that.
That's how they get you.
So he was
That's
like,
how
yo.
they get you to take a deal.
So he was like, yo, 3 years. I was
Unless
like,
you're
yo,
innocent, but you
Yeah.
know you wasn't innocent.
yeah, and just from selling the drugs and all the other bullshit that I did, I was like, you know what, 3 years for everything that I did
And got away with.
and they didn't know about.
Right.
But I was like, where do I sign?
Yeah.
So I signed that, and then I went up. I went upstate on January 30th of 2012, and all I could with that, I was just like, you know what, I'm on my way home, and doing that. That's when I started working in my head and like figuring out, all right, these next 2 years, I got to do up here. But what, how am I gonna go
To
about
your
this
benefit.
shit? Yeah.
So that's the thing. When you're in there now, you got your sentence. You're in there now. you know, you can either be part of the system where you're doing the
around,
things that
acting
they're
idiot.
doing, and,
Yeah.
and or you could plug into to programs and different opportunities that maybe can help you when you come home, make the transition. Just there's different
Or even
things. There's
books
even
and
yeah,
your
there's
own for
different.
yourself, setting
There's
your mind
personal development that you can do when you're up there, or
Yeah.
you can just be a knucklehead
Yeah.
and do
Yeah.
your time like a knucklehead.
It's true.
You know.
So I just try to, I stay to myself. Couple dudes I vibe with that I still keep in touch with to this day. But pretty much I went from Walpole. I was in Walpole. I got class to a minimum, which was Plymouth 4th Street.
Walpole's a tough prison.
I got in trouble at Plymouth 4th Street, so they sent me to Norfolk.
So in there, yeah. So in there,
Walpole, I've been
people
there.
like us that trained and did boxing and this and that. I mean, not to glorify them, but it was kind of a little easier for you than most people because they didn't really want to fight with you since you know how to box.
But did they know you can fight?
Did they know you could box?
Nah, only people that knew that I trained was people that saw me doing a little bit of stuff, and
Yeah.
maybe my cellmate. But
Yeah.
I didn't put that out there because
Broadcast,
because I didn't. A lot of motherfuckers in there, especially like, oh you box, you can
Yeah,
fight.
yeah, they
Niggas-
want to test you.
Motherfuckers will try to test you even
Yeah.
more.
So
Until you
true.
lay it one or
Yeah,
two.
and I didn't. I was just trying
Started
to.
my
Then they leave you alone.
Yeah, I was just trying to lay low.
Leave that guy alone.
Yeah, I was trying to lay low, do my time, and get home, and do that shit without having the minimum problems.
So you do your time. That's it.
How old's your son now? As you're going through this, where you get your son up there, and what's he going through? How's his coming up, and how's he doing?
The first time my son saw me, he was probably like, it was after the first year, so he was like 4.
Did he get it?
He didn't understand. He just knew that daddy was away. So when he came up with his mom to come see me, you know, maybe he did know at that age, maybe he didn't, but I'm assuming that he didn't understand. He just knew that daddy was away, and now he's seeing daddy for the first time in a year.
Wow.
Damn.
So did he keep coming up?
Nah,
You saw him once.
I saw him twice in the 3 years I was gone.
Wow, that hurt. That's gotta hurt.
Well, hence why you're in the position
Yeah.
you're in today,
Yeah.
baby.
So
right?
boom, yeah.
Yeah.
So you get it. That's what I'm saying. So all this, you go through all that, you get out. What do?
I get out. By the grace of God, one of my closest friends, he had his own cell phone business. He owned his own cell phone stores. So I get out, and then I had a job pretty much like 3 to 4 weeks after I was home. So I went from, I sold phones for a year. And yeah, I was tempted to go back to the streets, but I wasn't doing
That's it.
that.
You're
Yeah,
done.
I was done. So I worked selling phones for a year. Then I went to moving furniture for probably like another 8 months. And then
Thinking about easy money the whole
Yeah.
time, but
Yeah.
staying on the
But
grind,
staying-
right?
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I stayed.
You have the thoughts, but you fight them.
You
Yeah, I
have to.
stayed on the format, stayed on the plan because I was like,
Yeah,
yo, I
yeah.
am not,
Yeah,
I'm not going back. And whatever I got to do to stay home, stay with him,
Yes.
so that I could be around, and just that part of my life was to that. I was
That's it.
done. I was done
Yeah,
with that
because
shit.
you
I
know.
was talking to him,
Yeah.
and he said something powerful. Though he was like, he went back to boxing. So you went back to boxing because you didn't want to do the one thing that you thought you would regret if you
Yeah.
never tried. You
that-
never stepped back into it.
Yeah, that was even when I was in. That's what I was thinking. I was like, what would I regret not doing in this lifetime? And it was fighting. It was boxing.
Fast forward, you turned pro.
Yup.
Yeah.
So now,
Did you have any amateur fights, warm-ups coming
Yeah,
back?
yeah, I
Oh,
did.
oh, yeah.
Warm up.
2015, the summer of 2015. me and Heidi, we was at the Cape Verdean Festival, and she knew that I wanted to get back into the gym and start fighting again, and she is the one
That's why you're marrying her.
that kind of gave me that push. She ran into Mr. Brian Johnson.
Oh, okay.
And she talked with him, and he was like, "Yo, have him come over and talk to me." So I went over there, I talked with him. He said, "Come by the gym Monday." So I came by the gym, and then from that first day, that was it with me and Brian. We've been locked and loaded ever since.
Good people.
Yeah.
And
Very good people.
we had a couple fights in 2000 and 2015, and then 2016 we fought Golden Gloves. That's when I took it all the way to the finals in Lowell.
Nice. You fight a kid from Lowell?
I
tough
fought
win.
the first
Tough way to win.
Tough way to make a living fighting a Lowell.
Yeah.
first
If you're
round.
If you're from, you're fighting in low.
Yeah. But the kid I fought was from Lawrence, so that was just as tough.
Yeah.
But the first round I fought a kid from Vermont and knocked him out in like 6 seconds in the first round.
Yeah, the Vermont, those Vermont, New Hampshire.
He'll out wrestle you.
Nothing
but
against
I don't
him,
know
right,
about
but-
boxing.
Right. I never drew one. I was always Connecticut or Lowell.
Yeah.
I never got lucky. I fought
I never got
once. I
lucky.
drew the Vermont kid.
Yeah.
Once. I that's the year I beat Derek Whitley. I beat both the Whitley brothers.
Oh yeah.
I fought both of them. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I fought both of them. Derek, I fought for the New England 1995 Golden Glove in Lowell.
Yep.
I know he slipped, but I
Yeah,
dropped him with a left hook.
1905. I was in like 5th grade.
Yeah, I said I know he
95.
slipped, but I dropped him with a left hook.
I know he slipped.
That's my boy.
Oh,
That's my
man.
people. Yeah, I fought Hector San Jojo. I fought all the cream of the crop middleweights in New England.
That's what's up, man.
I did well with all of them. I beat Hector San Jojo. I was like 165, and he came in like 195.
Oh
right?
my God.
And I had sold all kinds of tickets, and all my people were
You
at
had
the
to
fight.
take it.
And I'm like, and everybody's going crazy. Manfredo and none of them wanted to take the fight. And I come out of the back, and I'm like, and San Jojo, they call him the Pitbull. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he was a beast. He was just ruining people's careers. So I said, I had to walk around. Manfredo's like, I'm like pacing. I'm like, I'll fight him. Come on, I don't care. I don't care. Leave me alone. I'll fight him. So we come out in the first round, and I'm backpedaling on him. I stopped and I planned. I hit him with a left hook on the button. He went like this. And I was like, the rest of the fight, man, I was moving. Thank God I had good feet.
Sticking and moving, baby.
Listen, I hit him with a left
Shaking and
hook. He
baking.
looked at me and was like, what? Come on. I'm like, all right, I'll be over here. But I ended up beating him. I ended up boxing him. Yeah, man. Not many people look at me like that after I hit him with a left hook. This dude looked at me like he ate it for breakfast. I'm like, I'm
gonna outpoint you.
Yeah. He come in, I'm holding him, clinching him.
So Marcus did good.
Yeah.
Turn pro. We got like a couple minutes, 1 minute left,
man.
but turn pro.
Yeah, I turned pro September 2016. I actually lost my pro debut. It was my fault. I knocked dude down first 30 seconds of the fight, and when he got back up, I went for the gusto.
Yes, and you blew your way.
And I kind of blew that. And
Yeah,
I got caught with a couple shots that I shouldn't have got caught with. Had a firefight, and the ref stopped the fight. I was fine.
Yeah.
But the ref didn't think so. So
Yeah. Because he didn't know you.
so
You didn't know you were willing to die.
yeah,
So fast forward, so you lost your pro debut, and where are you today? What's your record today?
I am-
just won a title recently.
Just won a
yeah,
title.
I am 8 wins, 4 losses, 6 knockouts.
All right.
And I just April of this year, I fought for the New Hampshire State welterweight title,
Yeah.
and I beat the kid Ryan DiBartolomeo, tough kid, real tough kid. I knocked him out in the sixth round, and
That's nice.
That shows something.
Yeah, when
That
you
was
carry,
it.
when you know,
Get him
so
in the
you
later
carried him
rounds.
for 6 and then put him to bed at 6.
Yeah,
Punish
yeah.
him for 5 and then knock him
Yeah.
out at 6. I like that. My kind of guy.
Yeah.
I don't just want to knock you out. I want to punish you. Knock you out
yeah,
later.
yeah. But so what I get out of this, so he started at a pro and a later, so
Yeah,
he didn't have all
at
those
30.
years of like amateur
Yeah.
to get all that out of him, all those mistakes out of him.
He took it
Because
to-
I've seen the other couple, and the judges kind of were like, you know what I mean, gave it to the other guy.
Yeah, yeah,
He
yeah,
was the
yeah,
the favorite or whatever.
yeah.
So he didn't get all those mistakes out of the way, but now I feel like now's his time. He's flourishing. Now
we working.
he's a young 30-something years old. You know what I'm
We
saying?
working. We
He
working.
is. He is. You keep working, man. You got a bright future, Marcus. I've been following you. You got talent, and those 4 losses are really just stepping stones to where you're going. I think the best is yet to come for you.
I think
You
so
just got to
too.
dig in a little bit.
Yeah,
harder.
yeah. You got to dig in, but you know what you're doing. You're with a good camp. Brian
Yeah,
knows his,
absolutely.
Brian knows his stuff. You know, I think we're gonna hear some big things from.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think it's
I plan on
it's
it.
coming, man.
Plan
Just
on it.
keep the plan. Keep him in your life.
Yeah.
And
will.
keep being a dad. You know, dads are important. You know,
The story
they're important.
shows something, man.
Yeah,
You went through thing after thing after thing at a young
and
age.
still he rises, man.
and then you was just done. I'm just done, and I'm going in this direction. And that's what what it's about.
you know, there's a lot of times coming up, and you know, how many comebacks do we have to make in life? That was my biggest question.
Yeah.
I got to do this again. I got to get up off the ground. I got
Yeah.
to get up off the canvas again. But you know,
But we
life
did
is
it.
about life is designed to suffering. That's what life's
Yeah.
about, suffering. And we had these beautiful moments. We have these beautiful blessings right in front of our eyes. And sometimes we don't see them. But with a little perspective, you know, you can see your blessings right in front of you. And there was a lot of times I remember I was ready to quit. And I looked down and I remember who's watching.
Yeah.
My little
Yeah.
cubs.
Yeah.
And they're looking at me and I'm like, let's go. So mad respect, man.
Thank you, bro.
Keep doing your thing.
Thank you, man.
I appreciate you coming on.
That's why.
I appreciate y'all.
Appreciate
having
you
me.
sharing
That's
with us,
why.
man.
So this is what we do. We close with the word.
All
This is
right.
the
And-
word.
Let's get
Coming,
a little
coming
after Marcus. Let's go.
Coming on. So we got Proverbs 6:9. How long will you lie there, you sluggard? When will you get up from your sleep? A little bit of sleep, a little bit of slumber, a little bit of folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will come on you like a thief in the night. Put some work in. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Go.
All right.
Bam, bam. Yo, thank you guys.
We
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Let's go.
Yo.
They wanna keep us low. They think that we don't know.